In the second approach to claiming personal happiness permanently, and there's no reason not to use both methods simultaneously, we have to ask ourselves, why does the mind go outward to begin with?
When you were in love, why did your mind go out and try to change the other person?
When you reach a goal, why does the mind immediately try to reach another one? When you had a high meditation and felt joyous, why could somebody push your buttons and send you out again? This has to do with basic imbalances inside the mind itself that are karmic, stemming from past life patternings and tendencies. Astrology is the fastest, most precise technique I know for getting in touch with those imbalances on an individual basis and making the corrections. That's why I use astrology, because each of us is so unique. An individual astrological reading is required to see the overall pattern in your life, stemming from past lives, that is seeking to be corrected so bliss can be obtained permanently. Knowledge of the pattern is obtained through a synthesis of the factors that need purification in each of your planets, signs and houses. As each of these factors is purified individually, your entire inner structure becomes harmonized and resolved. It is for this reason that I have divided each of the planets into the static and dynamic categories as they travel through each of the signs. The static category is a picture of past life tendencies, habitual karmic responses that result in personal defeat and isolation from inner joy. The dynamic category suggests the purification process that can provide the antidote for the specific past life self-defeating tendency. It's an experiment. As you begin actively practicing in your daily life, one or more of the approaches outlined in the dynamic category, with the appropriate planet and sign placement in your individual birth chart, you will find yourself less affected by environmental stimuli, throwing you off the center of inner joy. I do not view your astrology chart as an accident. The moment of your birth, which is what your chart is based on, is perfect and very carefully chosen on the spiritual level of your own soul. Our soul chose its moment for manifestation, how it wanted things to be. Only we forgot and lost the authority of our own energies. The curtain dropped, and we forgot that we chose it all. In this way, the birth chart is a means of getting back in touch with the way we wanted it to be, our life or soul's direction. The astrology chart defines precisely the path we need to follow to fulfill personal potential and gain the satisfaction of self-completion. It is, in terms of individual completeness, the map back home. When I look at an astrology chart, what I see is the soul's direction, the specific direction that one's life wants to go. Your life is going in the direction it's going, whether you or I approve of it or not. When you are cooperating with your own direction of energy, everything on the physical plane works. Love, sex, money, friendship, business, and so forth. When you are resisting the natural flow of your own energy, everything on the physical plane stops working in those areas where resistance is occurring. The idea is to have it all on a physical level by aligning and cooperating with the direction of one's own internal energies. The purpose of this book is simply to provide exposure to show the choices for action in planets located in specific signs. It is then possible to exercise free will within the framework of what is going on. This book addresses the specific challenge of each of the planets in each of the signs. Essentially, it says, if you do this, you experience these things, that is happiness. On the other hand, if you do this, you experience, that is unhappiness. The astrology chart is a means for objectively viewing the intangible, non-physical dimension of oneself. When the intangible aspects of oneself are seen in a tangible way, it is at last possible to create realistically the unique conditions that will lead to individual satisfaction and happiness in life. To attempt to deal with the non-physical aspects of oneself without scientifically knowing the dimensions and form of that self is to seek satisfaction from life on the levels of blind belief, happenstance, and superstition. It is neither scientific nor realistic, and thus does not produce results that are consistently satisfying.